Welcome to my channel. Zeno's Wisdom Taught is Storytime Saturday, and I'm continuing to read to you from my new book all about how loving younger men reignited my passion. I love to share these stories with you. If you missed the first few parts of the book, I'll make sure to link those videos below this one so you can catch up. The day we are doing chapter 2, and I'm going to start out by reading the last paragraph where we left off last Saturday, just to put it all in context for you. Here we go. I could let go of Dark Gabriel, in the knowledge that our Moroccan romance was perfect, that I will forever love and cherish him, because he crossed my path, that I do not need to tune him or to possess him for it to have been real and for it to have been love. Besides, my heart still belonged to Tosamian. I still hadn't been able to let go of a beautiful, feral, troubled younger man back in California. Chapter 2: The Beautiful Man from California. The first time he took me in Thbata, he came around the corner, glanced at me lounging naked in the warm water, and began to strip. He walked towards me with perpined, lustful focus, taking his clothes a phone item at a time, and climbed in on top of me. In one move, short and powerful approach to the Kliman was enough. Foreplay for me, so turned on by his devilish grin, the look in his eyes, audacity, and take no prisoners attitude. I wanted him as soon as he was ready. I giggled and joking glipperted as he approached it, added to his determination and to the pleasurable of the moment. "Come on, baby girl," he laughed. "You know you want it." I did. I wanted my beau man. Morning, noon, and night. The physical and chemical attraction was staggering and unprecedented. Then there was the sweetness, the kind heart, that all assumptions. He just wanted to love and be loved. I found myself wondering where the capacity to love so fearlessly came from in the face of all I'd been through. I met him in a grocery store. It was March of 2012, and 20 years had gone by since I'd immigrated alone to Canada from South Africa, with nothing but Naya Virage, a suitcase, and a tennis racket. After 2 decades of highs and lows, friends, lovers, and lessons in Vancouver, I found myself single and wealthy, feeling sexy and invincible, yet torturating unfulfilled dreams and a burning desire for passion. I sought passion and purpose everywhere, through reading, writing, experimenting, playing, praying, traveling, dating, and flight school. And in that road of discovery, I fortuitously myself a winter home in the California Dort. During the first season in my new vacation home, I was in a grocery store selecting cheeses for a dinner party. The young man was handing out brisk samplish, said hi, stared at me for a while, and as I walked off he said, "You're very beautiful." What did he just say? I said, "I beg your pardon, I mean he was gorgeous and looked no more than 22, and so he repeated it, "You're very beautiful." I've been complimented by strangers over the course of my life. Beauty at 46. I was kind of shocked to hear this from someone so young. I blushed and I said, "Thank you." As I started back up the next aisle, he smiled and asked, "How are you?" "I'm great," I said. "Now that you just made my day." I was picking out produce when he came to find me. He rushed up to me, shook my hand, introduced himself, looked at my left hand, and said, I see you aren't married." I laughed and he disappeared. He was a risk taker, didn't care that he might have been fired. He was back at his sample post near the front of the store. I waved goodbye as I left the checkout. I had a strong feeling he'd find a way to connect with me one more time before I drove away, and if he didn't, I would go back in and hand him a card, a man willing to put his job on the line with someone I wanted to know more about. I'm attracted to guts, confidence, determination, and courage. Andy I was handsome and very engaging. Sure enough, after a couple of minutes, he followed me outside and made his way toward me, pretending to collect shopping carts. Along the way, he reached my car and handed me a white paper napkin with his name and number scrolled across it in black ink. "Call my Hay." Said no, I replied. I handed him one of me cards, and I said, "You call my Hay's." First text came before I even got them. "You from here?" My Canadian area code prompted that question. My answer: "For part of the year." Him: "How much time do I have?" Me: "About 6 weeks." Him: "Okay. I get up work in a few hours. Can I call you Maze?" He called when he got off work and said, "Hey, do you want to get together and have some fun?" Well, yeah, since he put it that way, you'll have to come over to me place. I said, "I can't leave my dog alone." "I can do that. I have a car." There was always a certain amount of risk involved when one had a dog who couldn't be left alone. Last minute spontaneous get-togethers had to happen at home, and I dug deep to see if me gut was throwing out any red flags. coast seemed clear, but I did lock up me jewelry and wallets in the safe just in case. Lust and curiosity had clouded a usually trusty instincts. I felt a fleeting moment of doubt when the doorbell rang. What am I going to do with this young man? He's a total stranger from a different generation, works as a grocery store clerk, and I have just invited him over to play in my fancy holiday house. What am I going to say? I needn't have worried. I opened the door, and there he stood in all his magnificence. "Hi," he said with intoxication. His smile was broad and wit and perfect. His eyes were wild, and Olivier seemed so proud of himself. And then Hor wrapped his gorgeous big arms around him and embraced me with an emotional hug so intense. It was as though we'd known each other our whole lives. I knew in that moment that the evening would unfold as it should, and I knew that this man was unique, his soul was special. I melted into him. "You've already got a double vodka going," I said. "What would you like to have to drink?" "Well, I guess I'll have what you're having," he said. "I don't really drink. My grandfather's an alcoholic. Besides, I didn't like it much." And with that he began to tell the story of his life. It flowed out of him in a no-holds bathardic purge. One shocking detail after the other. He showed me scars from Paula's dog bites and rubbed my finger over to Bola's, still in his leg, a leftover reminder of a childhood and adolescence best left forgotten. He told me about his 8-year-old son and that his divorce from the boy's mother was about to be finalized. I grilled him with questions, wanting to understand a life so radically different from my own. My childhood was defined by security, safety, discipline. Angedelines, the beautiful boy, had lived occulted, seemingly devoid of suckings when my questions got too much for him, maybe verging on judgmental. He pushed the barstool back, stood up, and engulfed me in those sexy bad arms, and gannoned. Then he put his big hand under my chin, lifted my face, and slowly, softly, sensually, and spectacularly kissed them. "Take off your clothes, Jackie," he said. "Oh, no, we only just met," I shot back, lawing. "Jackie, take off your clothes listless." And I was thinking to myself, Fulbrights are on in here, and I didn't want to strip in front of his youthful hotness. He thought I was about 35, and I wanted to keep it that way. He persisted. "Jackie, take off your clothes. We're getting in the pool." I was seduced by his charming audacity, rendered a tough, slightly militant and confident woman, useless in his hands. Within minutes we were naked in the pool, crazy with raw passion. English, the man could kiss. Holy hell, he was sexy. Here's the thing, lips are sexy but wide open, wet mouths, and ramming tongue. Sorry, not this man. My young troubled grocery boy could teach the world head-offices, and there are many men I've known could attend this class at 10:30 p.m. We made scrambled eggs. "How old are you?" I asked. "You look about 22 hm. "Well, how old are you?" he said. "Net that it matters. I'm not telling you, but I'm pretty sure I'm older than ya think I am," I replied. "So am I. I'm 29. Then Herr showed me his driver's license. "No, based on what you just said," he continued, "I think you're probably 38 at first." I thought maybe 35. "Perfect," I said. "Let's leave it." I thought the beautiful man wanted to stay the night. "I like to sleep alone," I said, and at 1 a.m. I asked him to leave, but not before inviting him to my dinner party the next night. "I have 4 friends coming over. They're all gay men, and I hope you'll be okay with that, because if you're not, we might as well end this now." His response was positive, and I was excited. Chapter 3: The Dinner Party. There was powerful passion in people the night that I met the beautiful man, but not penetration. I had my reasons for wanting to wait. When he tried eye-jerking push him away, he didn't force me but charmingly, and every time I said no he'd come back from a different angle, then he'd go back to kissing me. A skill thought, taken to levels of mastery. I'd become putty in his hands, and he seemed to know it, so he'd McKenna thought move. "No," I giggled. "Why not just net tonight?" I said, laughing. "But why? I just want to wait a couple of days," I said. I didn't really want to wait. My desire was through the roof and insolently cursed the monthly cycle. Aha. But as I have since learned, everything is a miracle, even the stuff we think we don't want. After all, it might have been the unrequited deed that brought him back the next night, that charm of the forbidden, the lure of eventual victory, or maybe it was love at first sight. Whatever it was, he came back. Make sure to tune in next Saturday for the continuation of the story. Wuthapond at the dinner party that night, and if you haven't yet subscribed, please see Ado. So now turn on notifications so you don't miss the continuation of the story. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.